Hello, you're watching The Shift with Frida Liu and my special co-host all the way from Singapore, 𝐷𝗲𝐿. Say hello.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having me.
And if you've been watching the show, The Shift, okay, it's about the shift towards sustainability, whether it's big changes or small changes, how are individuals and organizations doing this? So we try to feature them here, and we believe it is a collective effort of everyone. Our guest today, Rianne will explain, but before that, proudly wearing her outfit.
Yes, so Batik Boutique exists to do good as they do business. Their main area of impact is in the artisans communities. They provide skills training and income opportunities to makers across Malaysia. And as a company, they are committed to the UN SDGs for no poverty, fair work conditions and gender equality. And in addition, they use a portion of all their revenue for impact projects such as capacity building training and refugee education.
And of course, I'm here with Amy Cox Blair, my good friend as well, founder and CEO. So good to be speaking to you again and having this conversation right now. Your story started in 2009 with your helper, and it's now over 10 years later. What have been some of the milestones?
A lot happens in 10 years. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here and to celebrate this with you. Some of the milestones include moving the office from my house to our first office.
Okay.
From having seamstresses cut one by one in their homes to actually running a production center, from opening our first retail boutique to now having 3. From deciding that we needed to pivot to e-commerce in COVID to selling to over 40 countries, from working with a few artisans to over 300, from learning and understanding what is Malaysian batik and trying to help and educate others, doing some of really cool corporate collaborations with big brands. We just launched a contest this week with Disney and GSC Studios, so that's like pretty exciting. Like, I can't believe, like, last year we worked with IKEA, Body Shop. There's these brands that have kind of been on my, dream list, and some of those actually happen now. So, yeah, there's a lot's gone on in 10 years.
Since the conversation with the helper.
Yeah, a lot happened since then.
Okay.
So can you tell us more, what exactly do you do and who are these artisans?
Sure. Batik Boutique is a social enterprise, and we're basically business for good. Social enterprise mixes business and charity into one. So we're just as focused as a business model would be, but we have another edge to us, and that's in making impact. We work with artisans all across Malaysia, and there's over several hundred of them that we create our own designs from batik, from this hand-printed material. And so we create the textiles, and then we send them to a sewing center where it's then sewn into apparel, homeware, gifts, those kind of things that then we sell in retail outlets, online, and to corporate companies in Malaysia.
Right. And in this case, these artisans are from the B40 community.
Yes, yes. Right. So the seamstresses are, and then in COVID, we realized there was obstacles for refugees in particular, having education and work. So we've since started partnering with another group of Afghan refugees, actually, who were tailors for big brand mass production in Afghanistan, and who had come to Malaysia with skill sets but no legal work. So we were able to help them as well. And currently they sew all of our men's shirts.
Right. Okay. So how do you measure success, right? And it's got to be beyond revenues.
Yeah. I mean, I think as an entrepreneur, like, of course, you're always, I am an entrepreneur, I discovered along the way. So you're always living in the future, and you're always seeing the problems, and you see what you didn't achieve. Often it's difficult to pull back and celebrate, like, actually, what have we accomplished? So definitely revenue is a huge driver for us. Also the impact, we measure the impact on every product that we make, whether it's just our general impact as a brand or also with corporate gifts. So when you start seeing that you need to hire more people in the community, that's helpful. We start giving our profit to fund education. So we currently sponsor 23 refugee students' education in Malaysia monthly with our profit. We've seen artisans grow from 30 meters of fabric a week to 300 meters under the partnership of Batik Boutique. So we're expanding their capacity. We're providing just life skills, business skills, skills they can use, whether they're work skills inside and outside of Batik Boutique. So we do try to measure that. The newer thing in the past few years has also been environmental footprint. So we monitor our environment footprint. using as much, sustainable fabric and dyes and low waste processes as we can. So we do, like tomorrow, my team has their quarterly report to give to me as managers, and everybody will report the normal KPIs you would have in any business, our profit loss, our leads, our calls, our deals closed, like everything that you would. But each person also, there's things they report as well on our impact.
Right.
So we keep numbers for that. So to me, we're successful when it all grows.
Right.
It's all of it.
It's like when you say you've helped over 150 families because someone's got a decent wage, right? And even doing something like this would, you would have employed a few people, right? Yeah.
Yeah, every piece. I think what people don't often understand, even about batik, let's forget the fact that we designed the print, we painted the print, we sewed the print, we designed the pattern for the, piece that you're wearing. They forget how intricate batik is. Like, I would encourage everybody to actually go figure out what it is and see it. Come to our workshops. We teach you how to do it, because when you understand the layering and the time and the complexities and the skill that's really required, you appreciate it at another level. Much less the fact that we're using like natural fibers. That's actually silk, a real silk, not polyester from, fast fashion. So I think when you understand the story behind the workmanship, not just that it's helping, but the actual workmanship, like that kimono employed like 5 to 7 people in Malaysia. It actually required that many to make it. So
and that's the impact.
That is the impact, yeah.
Absolutely. And, thanks for sharing about all the business aspects of it. And, let's talk a bit about the revenues. Does it mean hiring more artisans and other factors as well?
Yeah, so the business model we developed is called inclusive business. It's a type of social enterprise. Right. And that's where the beneficiaries that you're trying to support and help, they become part of your supply chain. Right. So the model we have, especially as you said, we've been 10 years into this, we're always tweaking it and seeing where we can grow, of course. But our model is very clear that as our revenue grows, our impact grows. Just in October this last year, we actually opened our own production house behind our studio office, because we've grown the batik production so much that artisans can't keep up with what we need. And sometimes, they get off on the coloring or the certain design, especially for a corporate company. If they have, if you're IKEA yellow and blue, it has to be an exact yellow and blue, or we will all know it was not IKEA. So when we work with a brand like that, we have to be very careful in the dyes. So we actually opened our own production studio where we're now employing fresh graduates to come and work with us, because that's also a group of people who have this heart and passion, but they don't necessarily have a job when they finish. And so that's one of our solutions. We opened our own production center. So that's always in the mind of our impact. As we grow, there's more people that we hire along the way.
How easy is it to find these artisans? They're all knocking on your door.
No, I'm knocking on their door all the time. I mean, in the early days, it was because they're, had access to all artisans in Malaysia. There's 1,000 or so, But as we scale and grow, like, one of the issues we have with batik artists is that they're artists. And if working as an artist and working in production are very different skill sets and personalities. Right. So we used to need artists to help us design and make a few meters at a time. But, one of our batik suppliers sends us 300 meters every week. That's one, And I found it difficult to help artists scale. It's not really the logistics now. We can ship things. We can, all of that's sorted in the past 5 years. But it's actually having them understand how to actually produce, and do they want to. So we have mindset, things to go through. So it does make it challenging.
Right. I know we already sort of addressed the question on how it is to, to make a batik piece is about 6 to 7 people, right? And to get involved in the whole supply chain. I would like to ask this, beyond artisans, you've also worked with, you in a way, supporting these refugee families? Yeah. How did you do that?
So we set up, especially with our corporate gift section, sometimes we work with large multinational companies who have very high quantity that physically cannot be produced in Malaysia, or in budgets that cannot be. So we might do it for a marketing reason, to do like something produced outside of Malaysia. That doesn't fall into our brand or our stores. Everything is Malaysian made and authentic batik. But we might do like a batik inspired design, and we're clear to say it's inspired, that it's not batik. And in that situation, if we produce overseas, we then take how we create our impact with it is we take part of our profit and fund projects within Malaysia that are not directly associated with Batik Boutique. So for example, I didn't like the fact that I have 3 children, and I think they all deserve an education, and I can give them a quality education. And I didn't like the fact that other people were forced to come to another country who couldn't give their kids a decent education.
Or any education.
Or any education, correct. And I thought this is a good way to pour into children in the next generation, to teach them critical thinking skills, to teach them basic human rights that we all have. So this is where we take profit from some of our bigger contracts and support things in the community outside of our own.
Absolutely. And other than just purchase of products, you also have to find other streams of revenues working with corporates. So how do they support you?
Corporates are interesting because over the years, they've also grown in wanting, and I would even say needing, to contribute back, whether it's to community or to the environment. So big letterings came out. You know, in Malaysia, everything has letters, right? So it's like, okay, get the letters right. So the SDGs came out from the UN, and many corporate companies got on board with that. ESGs are a newer thing that we speak of. So we go to companies and tell them that we can help you actually fulfill your CSR, your SDGs, your ESGs with something that's real and authentic. So we might offer training programs. We've trained women in Kelantan with Maybank previously, how to have sewing skills. We might also do corporate team building workshops. That's something that either in our studio or on site to help with team building. And we might do corporate gifting. That's the other big part. That's actually the biggest revenue part of our company is corporate gifting, bigger than our retail section actually, is corporate gifting. So we can customize products, logos, packaging, everything. We're practically like a design house, basically, for these companies to help them, even with their messaging, like how to gift this to someone to show that, X company actually was doing this in the community and it's authentic.
That's great to hear that there's authentic demand for that.
It's a growing demand. I mean, we're still sort of convincing them of it, I think, but at least there's a few more out there that are open to be convinced.
Absolutely.
And it looks good on the brand, right? As giveaways.
We make them look good, basically.
Right, you make them look good. So, running an impact business, what you're doing, right, is still running a business, right? And it comes with its challenges. So are there more considerations and challenges than a regular business? And how so?
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
For sure. Because in a regular business, it's about 1P, and that's profit. If you don't make profit, you don't exist. And if you don't, and it's usually about a small group of people at the top or one person who everybody else, however many you scale and grow for, works for them to put into their pocket, end of the day. And a social enterprise, actually, you must be just as concerned about that P of profit because you're not sustainable if you're not profitable. But at the same time, we are focused on people and planet as well. There's 2 other Ps in this. And I've noticed that the funny thing is, I think that's just human nature, but at any time any of us decide we'll do something for a cause or we'll do something good, you now open yourself up to so much criticism and so much assessment. If I told you I just am an American woman here that thought your product was good and I want to scale it and capitalize everything from my own pocket and intention, I wouldn't get as much like pushback and feedback and criticism as I get when I now said, actually, that's not what I want to do. I want a profitable business because we all need to live. But I also want to do good to other people, to help communities, to even help Malaysians understand what is batik and how you have a national, kind of pride from this heritage of yours. And I want to do it in a way that's authentic and is good to people and it's pretty and it's profitable.
And the whole point about batik again, right? People don't understand the difference between batik and batik print.
There's a difference.
There's a huge difference. It's got a lot of work.
And you just touched on a little bit about scaling up. So you actually want to make Batik Boutique the global brand and Malaysian batik a la Jim Thompson in Thailand. So what needs to happen to really make that a reality?
Oh boy. This is short video, interview, right? I think we're on the way. I'll say that. I mean, the fact that we already ship to 40 countries is pretty cool. that's good. It tells me there's interest there.
Absolutely.
So this year we're still expanding our retail because that comes with branding, in Malaysia, and it's that one has a lot to it, retail. Then I think we're focused on Singapore this year. We've gone down to 2 different events in a row that we've gotten good feedback and changing some, designs and patterns and prints. Started running ads more in Singapore. We sell in the US. We're selling wholesale into boutiques there as well. So I think that's growing in there. I think in Malaysia, we still just need support. Like we just need help. And that can come in lots of ways. It can come in corporates buying from us. I mean,
Right.
I generally am the person who likes help in the form of business,
Right.
not necessarily free. I don't expect free.
A handout,
No.
Yeah.
But, ordering more from us. We need ambassadors and influencers sharing more about our brand. We need more Malaysians, getting behind what is Malaysian batik and how amazing and special it really is. We need funding. We need, I think all SMEs need access to different amounts of funding, and cash flow is always an issue with an SME, more media and promoting kind of stuff, all of that. It's the same as in building any brand.
Right.
We need all of that.
All right. And I guess, if a call to action for people who want to make a purchase. And I always say this, right? And to buy for impact, right? If I have something that is of similar quality and one I know will be able to help more people, I would choose that brand, right? And
good.
this is the stuff that you have, right? So I guess the call to action is for people to buy for impact if you're going to buy anyway.
Yeah.
So thanks again, Amy, for being here. Amy Cox Blair from the Batik Boutique. Frida and Rianne signing out for the shift.